If you get a chance, check out the series The Chosen on YouTube. And one of my favorite episodes is about Nicodemus. And we see in the first season of the show this figure of Nicodemus, who's a prominent leader within the Jewish community who has a lot at stake if he decides to follow Jesus. So we hear about this conversation that he has at night, which is in our gospel today. And Nicodemus is really intrigued by the figure of Jesus, and Jesus invites him to follow him. And one of the most compelling scenes of the first season is when Jesus invites him to follow him. And the morning comes, and Nicodemus just can't bring himself to do it. He's so close to following Jesus, but he just can't take that next step. He can't be all in because he fears what it might mean for him and his family. Well, we see a beautiful contrast to that in our first reading today from the Acts of the Apostles, Acts chapter 4, where we hear about the ideal community. We hear about this group of followers of Jesus that are all in, that have given up everything to follow him. And it's beautiful and poetic, but also incredibly challenging for us, because we hear about this community that gives everything that they have, who sells houses and puts them at the feet of the apostles. A community that lives totally for others. And they invite us to think about those three characteristics that we often think of with discipleship: time, talent, and treasure. We might think about our own time and how we like to have control of our own time, our own schedule. But how might Christ be challenging us to give more of our time? Or we might think about that great gift of talent. We might think, oh, if I give myself totally over, if I invest myself and give my talents, what if they're rejected by the community? Or what if they're not appreciated? And lastly, we might think about treasure. How we give of our material goods, and could we give more for the sake of the building up of our own community? Just like Nicodemus, it's easy for all of us to be hesitant when we think about what discipleship costs us: time, talent, and treasure. And we might want to be like Nicodemus and put on the brakes. But how can we be challenged today in one of those three areas to be all in for Christ in your time, talent, and treasure?